Welcome to the Easy Computer Fixes channel, and today we are going to have a little review of AVG free antivirus software. AVG free is one of the options of the many free antiviruses that are available out there. Some of you might know Avast. There's also Microsoft Security Essentials, and there's Avira. And so these are probably the most popular that I just mentioned. AVG is one of the most popular in the free versions of antivirus. Now, is it good? A lot of people ask me that question. Is AVG antivirus a good antivirus? And why is it free? These are all questions, of course, that come to mind. And one of the major questions here is the fact that a lot of people will tell me, well, there's tons and tons of paid antiviruses. So why are these people giving this antivirus free? Well, one of the things about AVG is that giving a free antivirus will, of course, help them probably get customers and people go to the paid version of antivirus. There's a paid version of AVG. And what's the major difference with a free and a paid antivirus? Well, very often the paid antivirus will actually work better in protecting you from internet threats. It will verify more stuff. And if we look at the chart here, the paid version is $59.99 Canadian here, it says. I have a 30-day trial. First of all, one of the major differences is the fact that if we look at the free version that's installed here, it does not have firewall. On the right side it says activate now. And the reason is that the free version does not include a firewall. Now, it's not that much of a big deal because if you have a router, you probably already have the best antivirus out there. And if you don't have a router and plug directly, like with a desktop computer, for example, then you still have Windows firewall, which is an okay choice. At least you do have a firewall protection. Now, if we compare the charts, you see that what the free version does is the 5 first items on the list, which is detects, blocks, and removes viruses, checks links before you click them, prevents spying and data theft, leaves no trace of deleted files, and helps your PC run smoothly. Another little annoyance that sometimes AVG Free will give you is it will ask you to do some sorts of scans and propose softwares that are often paid software. Sorry. Now, the paid version tells you that you can have safer downloads, which means it will verify the software that you're downloading in order to get something better. Now, you also have the possibility to encrypt files on the paid version, things that aren't available in the free version. So if you have a company, for example, or if your laptop is a work laptop and you need it, and it's very important for you to have that privacy, that safety, then of course you see that the paid version of AVG does much more to help you really get your data safely and encrypted so that nobody can actually see the files if it gets stolen, for example. It has improved activity for blocking hackers. It doesn't mean that the free version does not have that. It just means that the paid version, because it has a firewall, actually blocks more efficiently some types of internet connections that can happen. But usually your firewall, the Windows firewall, will also block. So it's an F-truth here. You are still having access being blocked by the Windows firewall or by your router, which is even better. And it says protects personal data and faster, smoother video streaming. I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that. Probably for faster video streaming is probably that an antivirus is always checking all the bits that go out and come in to your computer. Might be that the paid version of AVG has probably better codecs that help the video run maybe smoother, and the bits that go through will be checked faster. But I've never had any problems with that with AVG. Now, AVG has been tested by a lot of magazines and compared to other antivirus, including paid antiviruses. What's interesting about AVG free is that it's always been there in the top 10 antiviruses, which is quite interesting, meaning that it does quite well the job that it's meant for. If we look at the panel here for AVG free, well, we have these little green squares that see how it gives you the state basically of your protection. First, you'll see at the top it says you are protected. That's what you want to see all the time. And then you have, of course, computer protected. You can click on that and see the state. It's enabled. You have web browsing protection, identity theft protection, and it scans emails in and out. But keep in mind that that is for if you're using a piece of software for like Windows Live Mail, for example, or if you're using Outlook. There are like plugins that add the email scan. If you're using an online service like Gmail or Hotmail, Outlook, there's already virus protection on these servers, which are pretty good actually. And of course you got a firewall that's not activated, but that's not that big a deal. One of the problems that I would actually two problems that I find the most annoying with AVG. One is, like I said, the little pop-ups that sometimes want you to do stuff. For example, you see on the bottom left here it says fix performance issues. The problem here is that this fixing of performance will actually send you to a paid program. So it's kind of an annoying little thing that is going to tell you, oh well, you might have performance issues and you should scan your computer for that, and then it's going to propose to you. And the reason it does that, well, because it's free, it tries to monetize its usage in that way. Another little annoyance I would say about AVG free is that if you haven't set up a specific scan time, it can start scanning at times when you don't want it to scan. And the big problem with that is that if you're working with your computer, streaming video or doing something important, it actually slows down the performance of your machine a lot. So having AVG scan while you're doing something else might actually make the computer be so slow that you're going to be a little annoyed. So you gotta change the scan time, and it's very important. So to change the scan time, you have to go into your options, and here you'll have the list of options that you can actually go through. And in advanced settings, you will see that there's schedule on the left side, and here you want to click schedule scan, and here you'll choose enable the task. So you'll want to choose which days and what hour you want it to scan, and it's important to do that if you don't want your AVG to scan while you're working at your computer. One of the annoyances also with the scan is the fact that compared to a lot of antivirus, I find that the AVG scan slows your computer much more than most antivirus software. For example, I've used a lot Microsoft Security Essentials, and did notice that the scan of Security Essentials is almost invisible. Actually scans your computer and you don't really know that it's running in the background. AVG, when it starts scanning, is really annoying for that. Really slows the computer. And usually if your computer is slow, you should check your little icon at the bottom right, that little colored icon. If it's scanning, it's going to show a little arrow, a pointed arrow in the middle of the icon, telling you, well, I'm actually doing something now. And most of the time, AVG Free does clean viruses quite well, but in the times when viruses are kind of more difficult to remove, I noticed that AVG is sometimes a little difficult to understand and hard to use because it asks you for stuff that you might not understand as a regular user. Another problem is the fact that it often cannot remove viruses that are in the machine, and you have to use other softwares. AVG also has a problem with the system restore. If you restore a few weeks back for some reason in your computer, it actually has problems with the database that gets corrupted, and it's a difficult fix. You'll have to go through the AVG support site and actually find your way around how to fix problems with AVG because you've actually restored, and then the database and the date and timestamp of the files don't match, which makes the AVG kind of broken. But if you take that off, you got to remember that it's a free antivirus, and that for most uses, what it does well. It's not the best, that's for sure, and but it's a good one. If you are the kind of person that's just working on its files on a computer, do a little bit of Google searching, do email, nothing much more than that, I think AVG Free is good enough. If you are a power user, you go on the web, you search for stuff, you download lots of files from different websites, or maybe go into torrents and stuff like that, I don't think AVG is for you. I think a paid antivirus is probably much better. And when I say paid antivirus, I don't mean you have to pay AVG. You can buy any types of paid antivirus that you might find interesting. One of the best antivirus, paid antivirus for me is probably NOD32, NOD32. It's one of those really low profile. It doesn't affect performance much, but it really does a great job at detecting and removing viruses. So that was a quick look and review of AVG Free Antivirus. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe. You'll be informed when new videos are online. If you have any comments, questions, maybe you have a problem with your computer of some sort, you'd like help, give us the maximum details of what's happening and we'll try to help you. We'll try to do a video even to help you, and you'll be helping others at the same time. And hopefully you'll come back to the Easy Computer Fixes channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.